Well, it often seems like climate change activists have created a new religion. Now, 150 places of worship have launched a climate action campaign, unfurling banners calling on the Prime Minister and Peter Dutton to support a rapid transition from coal and gas to clean energy. The group has released a video message. Have a look.
This is a message from faith leaders to the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition.
We are in a climate crisis. In Australia and globally, people are dying. People are losing their homes and their livelihoods because of floods, fires and droughts.
Let's give our fair share of finance in much larger amounts to low-income countries to help them transition to renewables and deal with climate-related disasters.
For more on this, I'm joined by the very Reverend Dr. Peter Catt. He's the Dean of St John's Cathedral, live from Brisbane. Thanks for joining us, Peter.
Thank you. You're welcome.
There's a fair bit of fire and brimstone in that video, claiming that Australians are dying now because of climate change and droughts and floods and fires. There's no evidence that droughts or floods or fires have increased in this country because of climate change, and sadly they are always a test for people on this continent.
There's certainly evidence that in the Torres Strait, for instance, they're losing their lands as a result of climate change, and the bushfire likelihood has gone up, and people are dying of heat because of the increased heat in summers. It's one of the silent killers, but that's already happening. And if you ask the Torres, pardon me, you ask the Torres Strait Islander people, they're losing their lands at an incredible rate. Auntie Rose Elu was with us today, and they're losing access to fresh water because of the rising sea levels due to climate change. The young people are noticing, she was saying as we were gathering, that even the young people are noticing that the climate is changing very rapidly in that part of the world.
Yeah, but the scientific evidence doesn't back that up. There's a lot of science saying that will happen, but we're not getting those impacts now, despite the rhetoric. You obviously buying into a political debate here. Any reservations about the churches getting into a political debate about energy options?
It'd be great if, as in other parts of the world, this wasn't seen as a political issue. It's really a very simple but complex issue of how we actually make a transition to using renewable energy so that we can actually avoid climate change. In the 1970s, we treated CFCs as simply an environmental issue, got on with it, changed our refrigerants and dealt with the hole in the ozone layer. And other parts of the world, they don't see it as a political issue. They just see it as an environmental issue that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, but there's nowhere else in the world that's trying to switch to renewables plus storage alone. No other country has attempted to do that, let alone succeeded. And you know that working families in this country, much less the poor, absolutely rely on affordable, reliable energy, and we're giving that away.
Absolutely. Well, no, I don't agree with you on that. The cheapest
Have you seen a power bill lately?
Cheapest form of energy is solar and wind, and one of the reasons we have high energy costs at the moment is because of our legacy generation capacity, which is wearing out very quickly and needs to be replaced.
Well, with respect, that's just the political rhetoric from the left. The facts are otherwise. Our energy prices keep going up because we've given away affordable, reliable sources, and we're investing so much money in intermittent sources. I just also want to know about whether Australia can actually influence the climate, because here's what the then chief scientist famously revealed to us all.
If we reduce the world's carbon emissions by 1.3%, what impact would that have on the changing climate of the world?
Virtually nothing.
Okay.
So don't we need to be frank with Australians and just admit that whatever Australia does cannot influence the climate, cannot change the climatic events in this country?
Australia's got to do its bit, because if everyone has that same attitude, then there'll be no change. So Australia has to do its bit along with the rest of the world, and our Pacific neighbours need us to act with haste.
Well, but it won't make any difference. We're making ourselves poor to make no difference. Can you see that that is illogical?
On the contrary, the move to renewable energies offers incredible prosperity and lots of new jobs which will be highly paid. And we've seen that happen in other parts of the world.
Right.
The transition, if it's well managed and planned, rather than simply left to the market, if it is well managed and planned, then people actually prosper.
We might take up this debate again. We're just about out of time, but if you can see my point, what you are mounting there is a very ideological and partisan political argument that many people would suggest churches should stay out of. It's not a factual, scientific argument.
I disagree. I think the science is on our side.
Everybody, thanks for joining us, Reverend Peter Catt. I appreciate it.